Well, Brainwashed and Brandwashed is really the title of my new book. And the reason why I wrote that is because I do think that it's my role as a marketeer to put a line in the sand and say, how far can we go and how far should we go? I think with all my work, my previous 6 books, I sort of proven that we can go very far. We can use manipulation to an extent where really the consumers sometimes do not have a fair chance to survive. So I think my duty is to put that line in the sand and say, hey, isn't it time for us now to just look at ourselves first, to create our own personal ethical guidelines, not the company's, but my personal guidelines, and then start to live against that. Because what will happen in the future is that everyone on the net, which basically is everyone in the world soon, will become a brand. And they will market themselves as a brand. And I think that every person now needs to say, how far am I willing to go in order to sell, so I'm not selling out? So lots of my work has been to say, here are the tools. It's up to you if you want to use them. Neuromarketing is really like a hammer. You can use that to hammer a nail into the wall and hang up a beautiful painting. Or you can use it to hammer someone in the head, which is not that good. So I'm really giving people the chance to use the hammer. Then I'm, in my last book, talking a lot about how far some companies are going, which in my opinion going far too far, if you could say that. And then it's up to the marketeers and basically everyone out there in the corporate world to decide how far they want to go. It's not my decision, but at least I've been very transparent about my view. I think it is to break rules. I think that the problem today is that most marketeers out there try to go down the conventional path. And really, I think basically almost everyone is fundamentally insecure about what to do. So they do the pretend game quite often, or they do the safe path. And I think in this world, breaking rules and going outside the square box is really the essential thing. I fundamentally believe that marketeers are not employed to look at spreadsheets, to do the number calculation full time. I think they're employed to follow their instinct. Because if they were not, then you could just have robots doing the work. So I think at the end of the day, we need to see that they step up and take that role of responsibility of following the intuition. I try to do that. Am I good enough? No, absolutely not. I don't think anyone is. But at least this is the path I believe can help this discipline to move out of a phase right now where it's treading water a little bit. The main reason why I've always done that is to convince people which did not trust the instinct. I think if I'm able to prove that your instinct is right by showing you some non-conscious data which actually are proving exactly what your instinct is, you're much more likely to believe and go down that path, because now you have data to prove something which you couldn't prove before. So really science for me is not going to lead things, it's going to support our instinct. Because as you know, 85% of everything we do every day is non-conscious. It's so difficult to measure that using quantitative and qualitative research data. So finally now we have a black box which is not that black anymore, and hopefully that can help good creativity to come through and courage to become a reality. What excites me is very simple, that all rules I've learned when I worked with Philip Kotler and all the good old buyers in this network, that they are right now being redefined. And they're really redefined to something we really don't understand right now. So the whole social media space and the dynamics of aspirational people, that I follow someone and that person follows someone else, of course is classic marketing. But what's new now is we now can start to see how it works. And that's incredibly interesting. What I find just as scary though is that we also right now are mapping down people's identity at a level we've never seen before. And I think that will mean that we will on one hand have an amazing chocolate cake which we want to eat all of it, and on the other hand we also know that there will be a side benefit at some stage. And so what I like about this is that the new rules are not necessarily the new marketing rules, but they're the new rules of not just ethics but also us saying to ourselves, how far do we want to go? Because, by the way, I'm a consumer too. So it really is a double-edged sword, or it is you're looking at things in 3D suddenly, because you both see the consumer, you see the brand, and now you look at yourself at the same time saying, hey, would I like to see myself in a network 5 years from now and where I'm being tracked to the degree we now are seeing happening? Wow, it's fascinating, and wow, it's scary.